can old really be? Ancient ruins reveal much about the ancient culture, and these incredible sites have been preserved since their conception. The world is home to a plethora of fascinating ancient ruins, from crumbling cities to temples that have withstood the test of time. Many of these ancient societies were incredibly innovative and forward-thinking. Just take a look at their meticulous city planning and incredible feats of engineering, some of which we are yet to fully understand. And while there's so much we can learn from these prehistoric people, perhaps the most enchanting part is what we don't know. Some of the most captivating ancient ruins are full of thousand-year-old mysteries that will boggle even the most curious of minds. Let's talk about 10 of the most amazing ruins in the world. But before we get into more details, just a reminder that we have a bonus fact for you towards the end of the video, so don't forget to stay till the very end. Number 1. Machu Picchu, Peru. At the top of a mountain, enormous and imposing stone blocks joined without using mortar were combined to create one of the most important religious, political, and cultural centers of the Inca Empire, the mist-shrouded citadel of Machu Picchu. Revealed to the world in 1911 by Hiram Bingham, this Inca city is divided into two large sectors: the agricultural sector, with an extensive network of terraces, and the urban sector, with fine structures including the Sun Temple. The intensely green terraces and the imposing mountains surrounding the site combine to create a stunning landscape that surpasses visitors' expectations. Number 3. Angkor Wat, Cambodia. Angkor Wat, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is Asia's most famously archaeological site and the principal drawcard to the Kingdom of Cambodia for many savvy tourists from around the globe. Angkor stood once at the center of the mighty Khmer Empire and grew to become the largest known pre-industrial settlement, spanning a site roughly equivalent to nowadays Paris. It is believed that the Khmer king had a divine role, and an appropriate temple had to be constructed by each king to consecrate the symbolic relationship between ruler and divinity. The site comprises dozens of iconic temples, including Angkor Wat itself with its world-famous silhouette, Bayon, a temple famous for its smiling, serene faces carved onto gigantic towers, and Ta Prohm, a magnificent temple ruin engulfed by the jungle. Number 3. TIKAL, Guatemala. TIKAL is Guatemala's most famous landmark and the largest excavated site in the Americas, comprising some of the most fascinating archaeological sites of the ancient Maya civilization. Most of the site's buildings were constructed during the 8th century AD, when Tikal became the greatest city in the Maya world with a population of perhaps 100,000. The ceremonial center contains superb temples and palaces and public squares accessed by means of ramps. Remains of dwellings are scattered throughout the surrounding jungle. Remarkably, Herman Cortez, the conqueror of Mexico, marched by Tikal in 1525, but they failed to see its temples concealed by silk, cotton, cedar, and mahogany trees. Number 4. Petra, Jordan. Petra, also known as the Rose Red City, is one of the world's most famous archaeological sites and Jordan's greatest tourist attraction. It is not known precisely when Petra was built, but the city began to prosper as the capital of Nabatean Empire from the 1st century BC, which grew rich through trade in frankincense, myrrh, and spices. Petra was later annexed to the Roman Empire and continued to thrive until a large earthquake destroyed much of the city in the 4th century AD. The earthquake, combined with changes in trade routes, eventually led to the downfall of the city, which was ultimately abandoned. Number 5. Giza Pyramids, Egypt. Located just outside the outskirts of Cairo on the esplanade known as the Giza Plateau, the Great Pyramids of Giza is Egypt's most famous archaeological site. All three of Giza's famed pyramids and their elaborate burial complexes were built during a frenetic period of construction from roughly 2550 to 2490 BC by pharaohs Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure. Egypt's pharaohs expected to become gods in the afterlife. To prepare for the next world, they built temples to the gods and gargantuan pyramids tombs for themselves, filled with all the things each ruler would need to guide and sustain himself in the next world. Each pyramid is part of a much larger complex, including a palace, temples, solar boat pits, and other features. The site also includes the remains of many smaller temples and settlements, which are invaluable for understanding ancient Egyptian life in this area. Number 6. Acropolis of Athens, Greece. The greatest and finest sanctuary of ancient Athens, dedicated primarily to its prison, the goddess Athena dominates the center of the modern city from the rocky crag known as the Acropolis. The most celebrated myths of ancient Athens, its greatest religious festivals, earliest cults, and several decisive events in the city's history are all connected to this sacred precinct. The monuments of the Acropolis stand in harmony with their natural setting. These unique masterpieces of ancient architecture combine different orders and styles of classical art most innovatively and have influenced art and culture for many centuries. Number 7. Chichen Itza, Mexico. Home to dozens of ancient pre-Columbian cities built over thousands of years by a series of sophisticated civilizations, Mexico boasts arguably the finest and most diverse collection of archaeological sites on the American continent. The most visited and probably the most famous ruin is Chichen Itza, a Mayan city in the state of Yucatan, roughly halfway between Merida and Cancun. The enormous site covers about 10.4 square kilometers or 4 square miles, though the center core area is much smaller and easily visited. The center is dominated by El Castillo, a Mesoamerican step pyramid that was built sometime between the 9th and 12th century CE and served as a temple to the god Kukulkan. Number 8. MOAI statues, Easter Island, Chile. MOAI statues are massive megaliths on Chile's Easter Island, and these are what this island in the Pacific Ocean is famous for. The MOAIs were built in approximately 1400 to 1650s AD by the natives of this island, also known as Rapa Nui. There are around 1,000 statues, up to 86 tons in weight and 10 meters or 33 feet in height, though the average is around half of that. 95% of the moai were carved from the volcano Ranuraraku. This location was chosen since it consists to a great extent of tough, compressed volcanic ash, which is easy to carve as the natives had no metal to carve with but used only stone tools. Number 9. The Great Wall, China. The Great Wall is an awe-inspiring feat of ancient defensive architecture. Its winding path over a rugged country and steep mountains takes in some great scenery. The wall was continuously built from the 3rd century BC to the 17th century AD on the northern border of the country as the great military defense project of successive Chinese empires, with a total length of more than 20,000 kilometers. The Great Wall begins in the east at Shanghai-guan in Hebei Province and ends at Jiayuguan in Gansu Province to the west. Its main body consists of walls, horse tracks, watchtowers, and shelters on the walls, and includes several impressive fortresses and passes. Number 10. Stonehenge, United Kingdom. With a history spanning 4,500 years, the archaeological site of Stonehenge has many different meanings to people today. Its ring of standing stones is a masterpiece of engineering, and building it would have taken huge effort from hundreds of well-organized people using only simple tools and technologies. The purpose of the ruins is unknown to us. It has no obvious practical purpose. It was not lived in and could not have been defended, so there must have been a spiritual reason why Neolithic and Bronze Age people put so much effort into building it. Thank you for staying with us this far. It's now time for the bonus fact. The stone wall at the entrance of Petra Cave in Greece is one of the oldest ruins in the world. It is believed to be the oldest man-made structure ever found. There is radiocarbon evidence that people inhabited the cave for nearly 50,000 years, covering the Middle and Upper Paleolithic, the Mesolithic, the Neolithic, the Pleistocene, the Holocene periods, and beyond. Have you ever been to any of the ruins mentioned in this video? Comment down below and let us know what it was like. If you enjoyed the content, uplift the channel by hitting like, subscribe, and ring the YouTube bell to meet us again in the next video. Until next time!